Hola amigos, hola amigas, Dorian here from Hoover Lux. Welcome, croeso assalamu alaikum, bienvenido, bienvenu. Welcome to my channel today. So, I'm currently doing some retro brighting, so I thought I'd crack on with another video while that's doing. So I might get rudely interrupted by the alarm for me to sort out that, but in the meantime, I'm going to do this video on this Dust Manager Cyclonic, yet another one in my collection. This one I didn't pay that much for, and I paid a couple of pounds for it, and it was near to where I live, so I thought, nah, why not? I don't have a grey one, so give it a go. So one thing it didn't have were the tools. It has the long scabbard tool. Sorry, I tell a lie, it does have some tools. It has the long scabbard tool, and it has this upholstery brush, but it doesn't have the... if I can get it off. Oh, I'll do it again. It doesn't have the extension tube, and it doesn't have the other dusting brush. Yeah, the dusting brush, that's it, because that's the upholstery brush. That's the long scabbard kind of like tool for it. So it doesn't have it. It doesn't have that. It just has these two. So what I've done today, so this is a bit of an unboxing as well, is I went online and I saw these for sale on Amazon. So there's the scabbard tool, dusting brush, sorry, an upholstery brush, and a dusting brush. Now, unfortunately, they're not grey, because these ones are grey, but the ones I got were black. So to be honest, I'm really not that fussed, because I'm just not that fussed. This brush needs to be popped into some hot water, hopefully. Bring it back, I'll give it a clean, see what it does. And that's the dusting brush. So at least they match anyway, as in they're black, but they don't actually match the original vacuum cleaner. But to be honest, it doesn't make much difference. They've got all the tools. So what I'm going to do is switch it on, because I have switched it on, but I haven't done any demo or anything with it. So first thing we're going to do is to switch it on, just to have a listen. 2,200 watts of cyclonic rubbish. Anyway, we will restore it, and let's get this poor girl back up and running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you off the camera and give you a little overview of it. So here we are. We have the Dust Manager Cyclonic Hoover HEPA filter, 2,200 watts power edge cleaning. It's a bit stiff. I moved it earlier. There we are. Intensive clean, short pile carpets on hard floor, medium carpet, luxury carpet, and tools. There we go. So it is a kind of like space grey with a dark grey touches to it. The bag, the front is obviously transparent. And here we have, it's a bit dirty, as you can see. Here we have the Cyclonic Filter, which doesn't have much dirt in it, but it's quite heavy, and it feels like, I mean, look at that. It's a lovely bit of, I mean, look at that. That's the reason why it doesn't work properly. Let's see Let me get my Henry and we'll give the whatever that is a clean out. Now I've just been looking inside and I can see that this inside the Cyclone, no, I couldn't see, it's blocked on the inside with that fluff as well, so that's why they overheat and they bloody melt, because there's 2,200 watts and the motor doesn't know what to do with the air doesn't go anywhere. So let's see if I can clear some of this out. That's better. You can actually the hose is now cleared. Let's just, this filter is completely, look at it. I feel a bit like Sam Watson with all the vacuums in really bad state. So I've dusted out some of the mess. Oh God, I can't remember how the heck this goes now. Ah, it's like the Krypton factor. That goes on there. Yes. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Oh, right, okay, hang on. Okay, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so I've cleaned out some of the crud and the hose is now clear. Let's see if this works a little bit better. filters, knackers that can go. Get a new one of them. Actually, I think I got a new one of them. I think I got one. Actually, I can't, can I? Because it's called the seal. This is the seal on it. So I can't get rid of it yet. Because I'm not going to be able to close the door properly otherwise. That comes off this is terrible. It gets really, really hot. Right, so I've done enough demonstrating of this. My hands are filthy. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to give it a really good clean up. The foot pedal on it, which are rubbish anyway, interrupted by the timer. The foot pedal on this is pretty rubbish, so I'm gonna get a complete new chassis for it. I'm gonna buy a new chassis. It's not gonna cost that much. The brush roll on it seems okay. Let me tip you down. There we go. The brush roll on it seems fine. It definitely needs a new belt. But it just needs a good clean up really, so let's see. Tilt it back up. What I'm going to do is unplug it. It's got a bit of it's got a lean on it as well, which doesn't help. So let's unplug it first of all. Excellent. And I'm going to move the camera and we're going to take this to bits. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the front cover. I'm going to move the entire Cyclone. I'm just going to dump it in there. Next I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to remove the tools. The wand, the hose, move the back and the filter. I'm going to remove the handle. I'm going to clean that as well properly. Now to remove the chassis is actually quite simple. First thing you have to do is pop the button gently. That will come out. There's 2 screws down here. in dirt. And then the chassis lifts off. Sorry, the cover, top cover. And lay it down flat. And that comes off. It's going to be cleaned as well. Now the inside of this, which is rank, I need to vacuum it out first. There was a lot of crud in there, a hell of a lot of crud. So I'm going to take the belt off. I'm going to take the brush roll out. It's a bit stiff. There we go. The belt can go in the bin. The brush roll is okay actually, it just needs cleaning. Now, hang on. Okay, that's a bit more odd. Now there was this weight in here, loose. I can't ever remember seeing a weight. Anyway, it was in there. Now I need to remove this off, which if I remember is, let's take these two out. We're full of fluff. That's why I can't get the screwdriver into the screw, because they're full of fluff. Which I can't remember how to get the screw out of this. I can't remember how to get this off. Let's just slide it. Oh yeah, just slides off. That's one side. That's the other side. Now I should be able to, yep, just move the chassis away from it. I just need to get access into the motor. I'm taking the screws out. Yeah, it's just sealed on. Well, at least the inside of the motor is pretty clean. The seal on it is very good, because it has actually, there is some crap on the motor, but not as much as you would have thought, or not as much as I would have thought. So here's your motor. It's a bit warm at the moment because I was using it. 2,100 watts of pure power. I'm not going to be taking out the motors or anything like that. That's fine. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I will clean it all up, of course. Now I'm going to take the back off. So that's the back falling off, or part of it. That's that taken off. I'm going to remove this because I don't have the pet brush with it, so I'm going to try and remove it. My little screwdriver. It is supposed to just slide out. Anyway, I'll look at it again. So I got those off. My parts bucket is extremely overflowing at the moment. Let's have a look at the side here. There's one more screw here. The inside where all the gubbins for the motor is. There's the switch. That's the block for the wires. Now I've removed the cable, the main cable. Done. That's the electrical gubbins. Take this seal off. The wire goes down there, into there, and there's the motor off. That is the seal. Not delicate, but... And there we go. Next thing I'm going to take off is this pop valve, which is like the valve if the air gets, if it's blocked. It's like a pressure valve. I don't know how effective it is really, because pop that in there. It's got a spring on it, and that's covered in fluff and crap. So there we go. This is my Hoover model DM6228 serial number 391000214. Made in PRC, made in the People's Republic of China. The pure power, the pure plastic, is now reduced to a carcass. Everything, the whole lot, is going to be cleaned. I'm going to tidy up inside here, which is the motor. Have a look at that. Looks okay. I'll give it a clean up. I'm not going to take motors apart because I have no idea how to do it. But at least this will all be nice and clean and tidy. I might take this off, I don't know. I'll see. It only pops out. I'll take a photograph of it, so when it comes back to it I'll know which way it goes in, so I'll do that as well, and I can wash this part. I think I might be able to just pop the switch out. Yeah, should be able to pop the switch out so I can clean this as well. So there we go, that's for now. That's the first part of it. That's a pure power reduced down to a motor, and I'll get everything cleaned up and then we'll put it back together. Okay, I'm back. It's a few days later, and the dust manager has been completely cleaned. All the parts and the components have all been cleaned out, and now I'm going to put this thing back together. So let me get some of the first bits that I need for the first stage, and then I'll come back to you in a second. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is putting the cable through. And sorting out this end with the switch, which I have just here. So I'm just putting the switch back through. That's back in place. Now what I need to do is to connect the wires back up to the switch. So I'm gonna go back and look at the picture that I took, and then I can connect it up correctly. Okay, so I've done that. I've connected the switch back up. Now that's all I'm going to do is to reconnect this back up, and I'll come back to you once I've done that. Okay, so that's all done, that's all back together. There's a screw on the back of there, and the two screws there. Now this is all back in. I've run the cable along the groove at the side, and then just sat the motor in. What I need to do now is to put this foam gasket back around it. There we go. So that's the foam gasket back in place. What I need to do now is just to fit this onto the back. That fits on there, like so, and there's 2 screws, so let me just get that screwed on. So I'll just pop those two screws in there. That's that on the back. I have this screw on as well. There's 2 screws for that one. Oops. Bit fiddly, doing it one hand and holding it on, but never mind. There we go. Now the other thing I wanted to do was to clean up this, which is the pressure relief valve, but it's a bit blocked up, so I'm going to give this a quick wipe out, clean the gunk off the top, and put it back in now, so just bear with me a second. Okay, that's the pressure valve switch all cleaned out, and I've put a tiny little bit of grease on the spring just to keep it there. There we go. That is now fitted there inside, just there. Next I have this gasket which needs to go around the motor. So I'm just looking at right, let me work this out because this is like the Krypton factor. Okay, once you start putting the seal around, it's quite logical. You just have to sort of like start off at the top and then just work your way around, making sure that there's lips on the rubber all the way around. Just make sure they fit into those lips. And then that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. I was quite surprised. So anyway, so the motor, the seals, the switch, the wire, the cables, the back part of it, that's all fitted into place. Now, next thing I have to do now is to put this motor cover onto it. So that's not going to be an issue. There's 4 screws for that, which are here. So just slide it on. Okay, last screw. Okay, so there we go. That is it. That is all back together, as in the motor and this part of it. So what I need to do before I go any further is I need to test it. So I'm going to plug it in and switch it on. That's really good. Does it soft start up? No noise in the motor. Perfect. Let me unplug it. So that wasn't too bad. So what I'm going to do now, while I have it like this, I'm going to just give it a very quick polish. So I'm just going to pop you on hold while I do that. Okay, so there we go. That's it now, all nice and polished. I know people are possibly asking why bother do it on a pure power, but why not? Because, you know, these aren't made to last. They aren't going to be around forever, so they are going to be rare. And you know, why didn't you throw out your Electrolux 560 or 460 or whatever it is? Why didn't you throw them out? You have to keep them. You have to keep them and clean them up, because they're not going to be around forever. So anyway, that's that. What I'm going to be working on now is the bottom part of it. Now, I did treat it to a new switch, foot pedal. I didn't bother getting a new chassis, because after I cleaned it up it did look a heck of a lot better, so I didn't bother with the new chassis. So I'm just going to pop this down to one side, and I'm going to get all the bits now for the chassis. Okay, so I've got me a new foot pedal for it, and I can see inside here there are two clips, and I'm trying to prise the clips open so that I can pull out the old foot pedal. One. Nope, slip back in. It's a slippery thing. One. Come on. There you go. Two. Now this has a spring wedged into it, and this one doesn't. And it didn't come with a spring, so I think I shall take the spring off. Put the spring on. God, no wonder these break. These look crap. Anyway, there's a little nubbin in there for the spring to go in. And the foot pedal just seems to slide on. And there we go. Alright, okay. Okay, that should be better. Anyway, bin for this. So that's the new foot release pedal on that. Okay, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a wipe over and a clean up, and then I am going to put the bumper on it. Okay, so that's all nice and polished. Now, where the hose fits in here, they don't fit any kind of like rubber seal or gasket or anything, it's just friction fit. So I've got a piece of gaffer tape here, and I'm just going to gently just roll it. And pop it in. There we go. And then fit it on the inside. That's going to give me a little bit of an extra seal in there, and a bit softer as well, instead of putting the plastic in against the plastic. It'll cushion it a little bit. Clean the plastic, oil the wheels. What I need to do now is fit it to the main part of the vac. So let's get that ready. Okay, I have the base here. So what I'm going to be doing is fitting the body back in. So I'm going to just pop it in like that. There's the two gaskets. You kind of like lift it up a bit, fit it on. It's easier said than done. See if I can do it on its side. It's bloody fiddly. What am I doing wrong? Hang on a second. Okay, so it's these. Okay. Blimey heck, that is difficult. Bloody fiddly. Right, try this one. Actually, it's better doing it standing upright. Right, they're on. Jeepers. Right, let me lay it down flat. Right, those are on and in position. That's not going to come off now. It stands up better. Well. Okay. That's that. Next, blimey Nora. There was this piece of metal, and it looks like it was screwed into here. It wasn't just sitting on there, but the screws are broke. This piece of plastic's broken off completely in this one. So what I'm going to have to do is to bond it in. So I got some bonding glue here. So I'm going to bond it into position. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, so all the base now is all back together. I've glued the metal bar in, and I've used some of this tape. It's not going to interfere with it, but it'll keep it into place while it dries, and also just make sure it stays there as well. So I got the brush roll here. What I need to do is to grease the spindle on it. So I'm just going to rub some grease along the metal. It's my neighbour deciding to do DIY. Okay. So I'm going to slide it in. Now it doesn't want to go in. There we go. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the end here. It's a little plastic. It goes down. A little bit more on the end, and then the cap. And there we go. So that's my brush roll cleaned. So I got a belt here for it. So let me just pop you on pause while I get the belt. Okay, I got the new belt here for it. I'm gonna pop that on. Changing the belt on these is very easy. I have to say that. It is very easy. And then we are going to slide the brush rolls in. There we go. Hang on, I know I've done something wrong here. Done. Hang on a sec. Okay, finally worked it out. Slide them in. There we go. And I'm just going to pull the belt over the motor spindle. Oh, you little monkey. Never mind. Jeez. There we go. Fantastic. Brush rolls fitted. Blimey heck. Cheapest screws. Right. Let's get the lid on this. Okay, I've done the hood. That's all nice and shiny and clean. I've put the rubber gasket on it. So that's in place. Lay it down flat. Clips in on the front. You can see in the camera it's not. Something catching on it. Let's have a look. Ah, it's the gasket. Is on right. It's a bit perished, but the rubber gasket on it, but it is still okay. Okay, try it again. Okay. Excellent. Put the 2 screws on this. Pedal, the height adjuster. Now if I remember, I left it in the middle. I thought I'd left it in the middle. Where are you? second. Jeez, I've only just got that fixed. That's at the end. Right, okay. There we go. That's it. There we go. That works better. Plug it in. Switch it on. That sounds really good, actually. Okay, so we've got this back together, we got this together, now we just need to put the rest of it. So let me pop you on pause. Okay, we're on the last leg. I've got the filter here that I cleaned. Put that back in. I got the filter here. I actually gave this a clean and see what would happen. I just put some bleach on it and then just gently rubbed it and it came out clean, so that's that. Just give the bag part a bit of a polish, wipe over. There we go. That's in place. Now I have the bag, the bin. That's all been cleaned out. And that's all clean now as well. Okay, so there we go, that's the bin all cleaned. Pop that in place inside the machine. Just checking the rubber seal still fits fine. What I'm going to do, just to make sure, a tiniest smidgen of grease. There we go. Now I have the bag door. If anyone can let me know where I can get the clips to convert this into a bagged machine, because I can't find them for love nor money. So if you do know, please let me know. That would be nice. I need about 3. so I can use them, but use them with bags, because these don't hold the dust in at all. Okay, we're getting there. Let's put you up. There we go, that's the front on. Excellent suction on it. Okay, now I need to put the handle on it. I'm just wiping it over. Excellent. That's the screws on. I've got the extension wand, the long scabbard tool, the upholstery brush, the dusting brush, and the hose. And I think now we are all put back together. The parts box is empty. Oof, got a sweat on. Okay, let's have a look. Excellent, we're done. That looks much better. Okay, so let's get it down on the floor and give it a test. So there she is. I've put down some sawdust. There we go. So let's give it a go. Okay, so we did really well on the first pass. It's all been cleared up. More on the back pull than going forward. Let's pick up the rest. I'm really impressed with that. That did really well in that test. It definitely picks up a lot better. It's definitely got more suction than the filters are cleaned on it. And let's see how it did. So it did really well, just by looking at it quickly. That's what it picked up. And it picked up a lot more than just the it picked up a lot of fluff as well that was in the carpet. So it did really well. It picked up all the sawdust and also a load of fluff. So it picked up a lot more than I thought it would have. If I just take the filter off, that's fine. That's got some dust in it. It's picked up some dust. And then inside, yeah, didn't do too bad, to be honest. I'm not going to be using it very often, so I'll put it back together. Oops, put it in the right way would help. You up. Oh, let's have a look at the filter. I see nothing came out of the bag. Out of the container. Oh. Very impressed with that. Very impressed indeed. There's a tiny little bit of dust when I did that. There's a bit of dust on my fingers that came through. But there we go, that's a Hoover dust manager. They're not amazing for keeping the dust inside the containers. It does need, I'm gonna use it, if I do use it, I'm gonna use it with a bag. I'm sure it'll be a heck of a lot better. Even though it's picked up all that, still, dust is everywhere. So anyway, so that's that for today. It was quite fun putting that together. I'd never stripped one down to the motor before. It wasn't as difficult or as bad as I thought it was going to be, to be honest. I quite enjoyed it, and it definitely looks a heck of a lot better than when I first picked it up, when it was ready for, well, she was going to dump it at the tip. So anyway, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that useful in some way, and please like, subscribe, comment below. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.